I mean, you rendezvous and you basically recap to each other the things you saw. I mean, I'm assuming that Sam and Rikija, there we go, would talk about the boats they saw, and Fang would say, "Oh yeah, that matches the boats I saw." And then Donovan comes back, "We must avoid anyone who is wearing metallic things."
And blue is your good color for the day.
Treasure.
Well, Sir Eric, of course, was clad in red because he is from Triskelion. But
Broussard.
Madam's, well, you actually, let's see. Yeah, you only have one success. You didn't actually see Broussard, you didn't actually see the captains on the boats. So if the captains were there, they weren't above board when you were sitting there skulking around like a centipede. And Aya says, I only got a good look at these two thieves. That one look on that guy's face was his last look. But you didn't see it. You didn't actually see anyone matching the captain's description.
Well, there is a place where you can find the captains and address them directly.
I do have a warning here. Madame Samira was both times you saw her was wearing a silk blue dress, but she also had lots of metallic jewelry.
I mean, as a matter of logistics, I'd say with a smaller boat anyway. There's less crew, less people to worry about.
Well, Captain Sam, what's your leadership? Are you the one who splurged for true leadership?
Yeah, I have true leadership, and I have 3 marks in leadership skill. Okay,
Captain Sam is a good leader, which means he could handle a big crew.
Oh, I meant money-wise.
Money-wise, the good news is, yeah, even though, I mean, you're probably a forging certificate anyway, but yeah, while you could run a ship with less than 60 crew, you saw the frigate, and you describe it to Sam, who knows boats. And interview people, and they go, yeah, we could run it with less than 60 people, but 60 is the optimum. The less people you have, the more the harder you'll have to work them, which means they have to either be better skilled and you'll have lower morale. So, do you want to go for the big boat or do you want to go for the small boat?
I don't know. Can we assassinate the big boat?
You want the 60-man boat?
Hell yeah, dude. Go big or go home.
With your gift of wealth, you could easily hire a 30 crew would be easy. A 60 crew, you'd have to supplement your income. You'd have to immediately start doing jobs. You could float payroll for a while. Plus, also, I have to emphasize, it's not just a question of meeting payroll. You actually have to hire these people too.
Yeah, we really should go with the small ship.
Now, the good news is when it comes to hiring, you have gossip and inquiry, which are 2 good skills for hiring people and making sure they're good people. And Captain Sam is a good sea person in the fact that he's got sailing. But I need to point out here that like anybody with he's a good sailor in the way that anyone who has the gift of sailing. I mean, you would literally be hiring crew people who actually had vehicle skill. Anyone you hire would actually be a better sailor than Captain Sam here.
Alright, well, Captain Sam wants the frigate. At the same time, we only have access to 20% of the contract. So...
Well, your plan was to steal the charter.
Yeah, but I'm saying we only know where 20% of the charter holder is.
No, you 20% by getting Madame Samira's donation, you already would own 20% of the ship, and your goal is to somehow steal or finagle the rest of the ship.
Right,
and
which
also
means that we need to find 80% more of it.
Well, I think what you want to do is you want to find the original chartering document and then forge it in your name, I believe, is your original plan.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, would her portion of it tell us where the rest of it is?
Well, there has to be a copy of it on the boat, because if anybody challenges the boat, there'd have to be a copy of it. There are 2 copies of the charter. Since Theophanes is registered in the Delton Sultanate port, there would be 1 copy of the charter on the boat and 1 copy of that in the Delton Exchequer's office. Whereas with the Blue Harvest, since that's registered way back in Triskelion, there's one copy on the boat and one copy way back in the Merchant House of Triskelion, which is only a problem if you go to Triskelion.
Okay, so clearly what we need to do is board the warship and steal its charter.
Perhaps we should not set our sights so quickly. We should still go to the House of the Forlorn Woman. I believe our fate lies there.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what this thing you're talking about is.
It's some.
I have seen the stars.
Okay. You would guess that the charter is probably in the safe on the boat. You haven't actually. You haven't snuck on either of these boats yet. Getting on the boat is a matter of deceit and swimming.
What I have seen though,
stealth and swimming.
What I have seen though is that the frigate does have less people on it. It has a higher crew count, yes, but at the same time less people because it's not getting ready to go like the other one is.
Right, and Madame Samira said that she heard it was in. I need to repeat that she said that they were in arrears. In other words, they were like defaulting on their debts, so they might be having business problems. And the fact that you went to the ship and said they don't look like they're. I mean, they don't have a full complement. And you describe the sale. I mean, you describe a bunch of stuff to Sam and Rakija, and they say, "Oh yeah, the sales aren't up," and details. That story checks out. That the boat is there. Whereas Blue Harvest looks like it's going to leave pretty soon.
And Captain Sam wants a frigate.
Here's the thing.
He's a noble.
If we take the flute, if we take the Blue Harvest instead of the Theophanes or whatever, however you say that, we have to deal with the debt on that ship too.
Yeah, the frigate's the one with the debt. The one that you want has debt.
Well, if you forge a new charter, you could pretend to not be those people. It's like, yeah, I know it was like owned by Samira, and her, and her holding company, but we're not them. We're a completely different person who owns this boat. I mean, when you forge the charter, you're basically forging like a whole new pink slip and bank loan for your car.
Now, Blue Harvest has no debt. Theophanes has debt. The frigate,
right? The
14-gun frigate that you want has debt.
All right. So, plus you could go after both. I'm not here to judge.
I think I could take 16 people.
We will have a grand armada.
Not so sure about 30 people, but I think I could take them.
Okay, so Fang's plan would be to just jump on the boat, murder everybody, and take it by force of arms. Not an impossible option.
Fang does that thing where you cup one hand and you punch it, and he does that 100 more times with all of his hands.
Now, there is one thing I have to emphasize. Some of the magic and all of the guns in the book have a descriptor on them that says the word loud. Some people don't... in the premise of Ironclaw, guns are really, really freaking loud. If you jump on a boat and seize it through swords and bows and sleeve swords and rapiers, people might not notice if you do it under the cover of darkness and when there's no guards around. Like you might be able to get away with that. But if you pull out pistols or use any spell that has the loud descriptor, that's going to make a huge noise that will be heard for, you hear a gunshot miles away. So, but speaking of spells,
people in
Donovan,
this world are also animals and have improved hearing.
Some of you have keen ears. You can hear this from way far away.
That actually comes down to another point. If we're like standing next to the thing and we fire a cannon, will it actually damage us?
You mean hearing-wise? We kind of don't. My advice is
that level of simulation.
If you botch your roll when firing it, yes, you can blow out your ears.
Done.
Anyways, as a thaumaturge, Donovan, don't you have the silence spell?
That I do. However, it would not silence my own magic.
Well, no, but you can silence other people, and if you cast silence on somebody, it actually makes them make no noise. So you can actually cast silence on somebody who has a gun, and they temporarily become quiet.
Wait. If you cast silence on somebody operating a cannon, does the cannon become quiet?
I could perhaps quiet the cannon itself.
I'm just saying, could you silence a cannon?
No.
Stealth cannon? Come on, Raph!
It becomes quieter.
You could, yeah, we could create one that only has a much smaller like.
I mean,
radius.
I'm just throwing this out
Theta,
here.
Well, Theta, I know you watch Lindy Beige, so I know you've seen the bit with the cannon that blows out all the windows in the city block when they fire it, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, a crew of thaumaturges on a ship with cannons, just the stealth ship.
Stealth ship.
We never heard it coming.
That's something to think about. But no. Silence. Silence
If you
only
want the
works on
world's
people.
most expensive ship.
They call it
What
the
do you-
Black Diamond. It only comes to port at
How
night.
does thaumaturge's magic affect the world? What kind of magic is it?
It's basically the thaumaturgy is literally translates as miracles. Thaumaturgy magic is quiet and subtle. Like his major 2 attack spells are you stop making noise and you drop whatever you're holding. Thaumaturgy magic is so subtle that other people, when they might not even notice it, it's just me. Yeah, you're an idiot who dropped his sword. We all saw it. Stop blaming it on that weirdo pajamas.
Though, is like astral projection and teleportation through astral projection.
Right. Later on, they can
Which is
actually
crazy. I love it.
they can inhabit other objects and locate people by their personal possessions. But it is like the quiet. It's not like elementalism with fireball.
Is it possible? Is it possible to theoretically force thaumaturgy magic into a cannon to infuse the cannon to make it silenced?
In theory, he could actually he couldn't do that.
Thaumaturgy cannon.
But in theory, he could take a piece of a cannonball, and after you fired the cannon into somebody's ship, he could possess the cannonball and then teleport to the ship.
Yeah, Baron.
Oh gosh, that is. Oh, new worlds are opening up to me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's go a step further. Let's go a step
That's
further.
higher.
Make a
Okay.
mortar.
Yeah, in fact, mortars will be in the Horn and Ivory book. So yeah,
Ooh.
right. No, I mean yes, thaumaturges are the teleporters. But to get back to your level 1, since you guys are like level 1 guys, I
Not
believe
for some time.
I believe Donovan, all you have offensively are the regular elementalist attack spells.
Correct, and the only one
Right.
that I'm necessarily good at is air.
Right. Now the good news is those spells are quiet. They are not. They don't have the loud descriptor. So they make.
Well, I mean, if I'm
noise-
making a thunderbolt, maybe not.
Well, no, you can't make thunderbolts. You can only create.
It does say like you could make like a yellow zap of electricity, but most of it implies like just shoving someone around with air.
Right, but I mean, like tiny little sparks and stuff. It's not like when you look at like stuff like Pylum of Fire and Lightning Bolt, those are labeled loud. Those are as loud as gunshots. So if you have to use your, especially Misfortune and Silence even have the Mystic descriptor, which means other people, unless you have supernatural skill at all, other people don't even notice them.
Ooh.
So, I mean, like I said, like you dropped your sword. I mean, like I saw him drop his sword. Maybe the pajama guy did it, or maybe he was an idiot. I don't know. And if he didn't see the pajama guy, then he was just an idiot. So, and of course, the assassin has a sleeve sword. The assassin can murder people and not even see it. Fang is all swords. The people I'd be most worried about, Sam and Rakija both have pistols. If you pull out your pistol and fire it, that's a gunshot. If you fire a gunshot in a city under military occupation and martial law, someone will come to investigate.
I have a rapier.
Right. I'm just.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm just
But why
warning
would
you.
we use that when we have pistols? Come on now.
Right. I'm just warning you in advance. So if you want to take a boat by stealth, sometimes they get players who take a boat by stealth. Blam 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 blam. Well, they kind of heard that.
Quick, point the cannons at the docks.
Alert the
Right.
entire dungeon to your presence quickly.
Also, if you read the fine print in the rules, the pistols do way more damage than the rapiers. I mean, like way more.
Oh, they're scary.
They do double damage on. Remember when you were counting those successes? They do double damage from successes. They can kill someone instantly, easily if you just roll casually good. Like if you roll above average, you can kill someone in one hit.
Wait, that's super fucked.
They're pistols. We wanted an Ironclaw when Captain Jack Sparrow pulls the pistol and threatens you. We didn't want him. Oh no, he's gonna like reduce my hit points by 20%. No, we wanted you to be scared.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Jesus.
So I'm hearing you could go now. One person proposed the plan: go to the flute, kill everybody, and seize it by force.
Can I wait? Let's combine plans, maybe. Maybe distraction by jumping on board and pretending I'm going to kill everybody, while the other guy stealths.
Okay, but basically, see two prong. So I'm hearing one proposal, so we can get the story moving on. Is one proposal is to seize the fluid by force, not just with some tactics, perhaps a two-pronged assault where some people sneak aboard and other people front assault. But I'm hearing find a low-profile moment and seize the flute by force. That's one proposal, and that I'm gonna that's Fang, so I'm gonna move Fang up here. What about Captain Sam? You're the one who has to captain the ship. What would you propose? If you were here and unmuted.
What?
There you are. Captain Sam, what would you propose as the next step forward here? Which boat would you want to go after and how?
Well, if we get the 20% share, because Sneaky can write a letter, that's fine. Sneaky can ruin his name. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. We can just go out to sea on the boat, and while we're out to sea, Sneaky, you can just pay the crew to mutiny.
Oh, pay the crew to mutiny. That's a good one.
And we can just slaughter them all out, and then we'll kill the captain. You guys put me in charge.
Samira said they were having financial problems, but you actually haven't gone to interview the crew yet to find out what their morale level is. Fang observed that there was a skeleton crew, but as far as Fang can tell, Fang said, well, their carapaces looked pretty good, and their limbs seemed pretty mobile. But what were the expressions on their faces? Ew, why would I want to look at the weird meat contortions on your faces? That sounds gross. I can barely look at you right now.
Your disgusting lack of arms and non-mandible mouths.
You ready? Hey, Fang, their bones are on the inside, and they have their squishy bits on the outside. Ah!
I'm not actually sickened by that. It makes them easier to kill.
Really? You really don't understand how they even got this far. Okay, so Sam says, well, why not get the share, get on the boat, make friends with the crew, and just convince the crew to mutiny, and that way we can just walk into the safe and make ourselves and default on the debts, declare ourselves a new company, basically openly steal the boat with the support of the crew. That's another proposal. All right, so that's Sam's plan. I'm gonna move on to Rikika, who's the next highest ranking character here. What would be your proposal?
I would say realistically that we could probably just avoid entirely having to mutiny, at least for the foreseeable future. Well, at least paying them to mutiny. We could probably just communicate with them, see who's not entirely happy with the running of Captain Sam, I think it was. Who's the other guy?
Sam's your guy. Foud is the other guy.
Foud is the other guy. I'm terrible with names, pardon. And then just get everyone to mutiny with Foud regardless, without any pay. Because realistically, it's never a good time, especially when the captain's having money problems. Because the crew's always going to take the money problems first.
Okay, and actually, I apologize here. Dark Ninja, you've been pretty quiet, and I think I've been...
Yeah, no, I have. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So I apologize. Sometimes it's a little hard when you got 6 players here. So I've heard from you in a while. So, and I think I forgot you in the round when we were doing all the polling. So I apologize if I missed you.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So do you, with the 2 proposals here, do you have some opinions on how they should move forward?
Could you repeat the proposal? Can you repeat those again?
So right now, there are 2 boats they're looking at. One of them is the small cargo ship with a small crew, and the other one is the large frigate that may or may not have morale problems. Captain Sam wants to go ahead and ask the one woman for the 20% share, get a legitimate stake in the boat, and wander around, ask them, and maybe just get the crew on their side, just mutiny and just take the boat by mutiny. Fang is proposing going to the flute and seizing it by force. I mean, there are several plans we could propose, but there's only 16 crew, and you wouldn't have to kill all of them. You might even be able to get them to surrender. There are rules for that in the game. So those are the...
Here's the thing, though. If we make them mutiny, if they mutiny once, then they're willing to mutiny again. So we'll have to replace all that crew.
Well, no. That depends on the reason for the mutiny.
Right, and to be honest, long-term wise, after you have the crew, we can move to the next stage of assessing it. That's why I mentioned you have gossip, you have inquiry, you have leadership, and you have tactics. After you assemble the crew, you can start reading them for morale and start worrying about those issues. But once again, this is asking if you have to agree to Madame Samira's demands before you get legitimacy. So Sam is pushing for, Sam and Rakija are suggesting, let's just get the legitimacy and try to take that boat once we've got a stake in it. So, so Sam and Rakija are going intrigue. Flute is going. Fang is going force. Did you have opinions on this? Or you want to check out?
How many people can be on the small ship?
It has a crew complement of 16, and they're loading up, which means they have a full crew and are going to ship out. So some of those will be fighters, and some of those will be sailors.
Since I'm a noble. I want to get a legitimate.
All right.
I want to be legitimate.
Okay. So
but,
you would be.
I will not shy down. I will not shy down from any kind of battle.
Okay. So I'm going to put you in abstaining right now. Well, let's Ada. You are an assassin. So but you also could sneak aboard a ship and steal a charter, or you could murder a bunch of people by force. Or you can suggest something we haven't even heard yet. So, Quoteman, what is your opinion on this?
Again, I'm willing to steal a charter. I'm willing to cause a mutiny and have to fight people because, fighting's easy. At least fighting's fun. But at the same time, stealing the charter and getting forged is still probably a better option.
Okay, so you would go with either plan then, either to seizing the one.
Oh, I'm fine with whatever. I'm not leading here. I'm just the tool for the job.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn to Donovan. Donovan, that woman was wearing blue, but she also had metallic jewelry.
Yeah, she's quite the mixed message. I must insist, patrons, that you should go to the House of the Forlorn Woman before any other decision. But if you refuse to heed my warnings, then I would have to say perhaps simply having a stake might be the simplest solution. And if you use your wealth to simply pay for the rest of the crew required to actually man the boat properly, you've already won your mutiny.
Right. So then another way to help a mutiny, could be that I think
the crew.
If I'm reading Donovan correctly, you could use your wealth to go hire, a new crew, because even though the boat requires first of all, the boat doesn't seem to have a full crew right now anyway. You could hire, and by hire a crew, we mean hire a bunch of, armed thugs, and then you hire those guys go on the boat and say, "Hey, would you guys like to mutiny? Me and my 20 well-armed swordsmen behind me think you should really mutiny and side with us," and that would lend your argument. Let's call that
some weight.
Weight, yes. Weight is the word. Weight. But I think Donovan would also suggest that you should hire people in leather armor because he was warned against people wearing metal.
Indeed, absolutely. But that's the violent means to it. The simpler mean might simply be being on the boat, having half the crew at our disposal, and then just convincing the rest slowly as we participate with them. To whatever ends we seek next.
That could be an option. You could try to bully all of them into surrender.
But such can be decided upon the boat after weighing the scenario.
Okay, so we've got and hey, you could always take the big boat, and then after bringing the mercenaries on the big boat, say, "Well, that was easy. All right, mercenaries, come on, we got another boat we're gonna go get," and then just use the other one. And take both of them. Why forge one when you can forge two? my threshold is, if anything you're doing is not as horrible as something we saw in Game of Thrones, it's probably okay.
Okay.
And I can't think seizing 2 boats in the same day is as horrible as some of the other things I've seen in Game of Thrones. It does. One of them is a crime. Seizing the worship is a crime against the Deltan Sultanate. Seizing the fluid is a crime against a Triskelion, a city half a world away.
I'm not Calabrian.
Right. And it's not even his country. What do I care? I mean, it would be possible. It would be possible to do both in the same day. It just means you have to forge 2 certificates, and that's just, I'm hearing that the majority. So, I know I'm supposed to be a neutral observer game master in this, but it sounds to me like you probably want to go ahead and get Madame Samira's 20% share, which allows you to get on the boat because you can claim that you're partial owners. And it sounds to me like you're going to go ahead and do that.
Right, the simplest and most straightforward air of legitimacy.
But it also sounds to me like Donovan suggested you should hire a crew of mercenaries. So it also sounds to me like you'd like to go ahead and hire a crew. And
it wouldn't be bad.
Donovan also suggests going somewhere, but no one wants to hear anything that he's read in the stars.
Okay. Well, and also seizing the boat and then sailing out of town is not a bad idea. And if the other boat's already loaded with cargo, well, the problem is then you'd have a fleet because you have a warship and another fleet. Well, okay. So it's do you want to hire the mercenaries? Because hiring the mercenaries leans on one person, and that is Rikija, who has the money. So Rikija, do you want to hire your own loyal crew to help back you up?
I like that idea. We should, and then whenever we mutiny and we kill the captain off and take his ship, we can just, whenever we make port, we can just let the other mutineers go.
So we're going to round up a crew, or at least a handful of mercenaries who would hopefully be crew capable.
This is a port of convenience. The 2 people who attacked Ada were probably just shitty pirates. So you could attempt to find hiring, people for hire. They're all around you. You would use skills like gossip and haggling to go ahead and hire a new crew. So if you wanted to do that. So, and I think you folks actually have gossip and haggling in spades, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I've gossip.
All right. So, if we're cool with hiring a crew now, who is going to be the taskmaster for hiring people? For hiring,
wait. Let me just make sure that I have this plan. All right. So we're gonna take the crew. We're going to supply the crew to this ship, completely. What's the word?
Usurp.
No. I can't recall the word that I'm looking for, but
are you talking about like show up on the ship with your own crew and say this ship is mine now?
No. We're gonna show up and then just add this crew onto what's already existing. Act like it's not a problem whatsoever and not unusual.
Yeah, I have a 20% stake that says I can put people on the ship. And the guy said, I don't think a 20% really lets you. Don't we really have to okay this the captain? Who's the captain? I'm the captain. You're not the captain anymore. You're fired. I mean, basically just show up and, if you're talking about insinuate your own people and then stage a hostile takeover.
Because that sounds like what was being suggested.
Right. Yeah, the word I would use for that is actually usurping, because it's like you're taking power that, through shady means. And basically you're suggesting let's take their crews, seed it with people who are loyal to us, and then show up and make more demands of I demand that we put Sam here in charge instead of Fowd. And then it's like, yeah, but you only have a 20% stake. It's like, yeah, well, I got these guys on my side too. You know, basically bully them into doing it. That sounds like a great plan to me. And if, as I said, you've not had access to the boat, but the rumors that you're hearing are they're having trouble making payroll. So the guys who are already on the boat, if you show up and say, you know, screw the rules, I have money, they might flip flop to your side.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sure.
I think we should do that.
If everyone's down, sure.
Okay. Well then, for hiring a new crew would require mind, gossip, and you get a bonus D12 for haggling. So I'm assuming that you want to have one, because I want to show off the assist rule here. So I'm assuming you want to have one taskmaster who does that.
Okay.
And
She's the better at haggling, so
who's the
I
best?
would
Is that Captain Sam or is that Ada?
I think it's Captain Sam.
Captain Sam? All right. So to assist somebody else, you'll roll the same die. In this case, you roll the same dice that they do. You'd roll mind and gossip. But if you roll even a single 4 or better, doesn't matter how good you roll, as long as you get at least 1 4 or better. If you get any 4s or better, you will give a bonus D8 to the taskmaster.
Okay.
So the advantage behind that is, like, if 4 of you assist and 3 of you are successful, the taskmaster gets a bonus 3d8 to roll. That means they could conceivably get rolls of like 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
You said I could roll my haggling with this, right?
Yes, you get a bonus, and haggling gives a bonus D12 to rolls to negotiate price. That's not just to find people, but also to haggle over how much to pay them. Like, you know, I don't take anything less than a full year's contract and at least 3 hooker visits. And it's like, well, we can give you 6 hooker visits and you don't have to be in the barrel. And it's like, or sorry, 6 months and you don't have to take time in the barrel. You know, whatever. The niceties of pirate negotiation I leave for people to Google because it's hilarious. The
so
several contracts. Like, if I lose an eye, do I get paid 20,000 or 10,000? There's rules for it. There's a long list of, you lose this limb, you get paid this amount.
All right. Well, I'm going to roll this.
That feeling when 17th century pirates have better healthcare than you.
I got I got 2 successes.
Okay, so Nick gives a bonus D8 to Sam. Because you since you're assisting Sam to, Sam is the one hiring the crews, and you basically is wingman and vetting for them when you go with him. So since Sam is the main roller, he gets to roll a bonus D8. Right, and see, it was a success. So, I mean, we're on a stream, so I always want to emphasize to people, the rolling and assisting rule is very important in Ironclaw because there's even rolls in the game you really just can't even, or having everybody pool together, even people who are only marginally good. So this is one thing I worry about. In a game where if you don't have a good assist rule, people who only have like 1 mark, like you were asking earlier, what's 1 mark in a skill gets me? 1 mark in a skill gets you the ability to assist somebody who's better than you.
A group of idiots can combine together and become a marginally useful idiot.
Exactly.
Yes.
Between the 5 of us, we can at least get 1, rumor. All right, and look, hey, right here I'm looking at the die roll, and it came up a success. So that is 1, 2, 3 successes. Okay, so you spend the next day, and also another reason you want to be successful at this, you want to recruit a crew, and when they ask what it's for, you say, "Oh, it's the crew." It's the crew, the Theophanous. It's like, isn't the Theophanous already have a crew on it? You kind of want to like hire discreet people who won't like rat you out to anyone about this. So that's but you rolled 3 successes, so like to not tell other people your plans and that kind of stuff is what I'm getting at. Or to wait contracts. Because you have haggling. In other words, you interview a large number of people. Okay? In fact, you need a crew of 60 at the minimum and you get 3 successes. Okay. Spending a day and talking to some people and getting a crew together. In the interest of expedience, I'm going to say that after asking around, and 20. Okay, the best you managed to gather for your own crew after interviewing people and and putting up criers and watching people show up and like looking at people who are obviously like you meet people who are obviously syphilitics or have the pox or old men or 7-year-old children, and it's like, can you even carry 50 pounds above your head? I can try. Thud. Get out of here, kid. Can you at least lift the weight off of me? It's so heavy. Ah.
Put up a sign next to our job offer: no hobos.
Right, and then you have a problem because hobos can't.
Take homeless people. Homeless people make the best because we don't have to worry about paying restitutions to the family.
Right, but then of course you have a problem that no one can read.
Homeless.
This is what.
Not orphans and bastards. You're thinking of something else. We just
don't
We don't have to take them home, is what you're saying.
Don't
So
worry.
often
be
this.
teaching.
Not only will you send out rumors, but you also have what are called town criers who wander around saying, "Hear ye, there's, Captain Sam, the great Captain Sam hiring a crew. Come, get interviewed. Great job. No downsides. Definitely not illegal." And of course there are rules about that because only certain people